This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. We're going to be looking at a wine like this for a second with Mateja Gravner, who is joining us all the way from Europe. How are you today?
Fine, thanks. Wonderful weather, wonderful people.
So what brings you to Toronto on this occasion?
I wanted to see how different markets are approaching this kind of wines. And you know, we are very convinced about what we are doing, but sometimes you need to see other people to even to understand how they behave, how they feel about knowing something new, like a different kind of wine, and even to make them know it's not, my father didn't change the wine production or the wines he used to produce before, because he just wanted to be the special one or the different one.
Would it be fair to say he changed, like he didn't change his production for commercial reasons? Because he was very successful beforehand.
He was, but he wasn't satisfied with what he was doing. Mainly, in our area, we are right on the border between Italy and Slovenia. The local variety has always been Ribolla. Ribolla has a little bit bigger berries and very thick skin, so it's a kind of crispy grape if you taste it right. And it has always been very difficult to bring this crispy taste into wine. And my father couldn't understand what was wrong in the wine process. What should he change in order to make the taste of the grape becoming the most important part of the taste of the wine?
So the grape itself translating to the taste of the wine.
Yes,
right.
This is what he wanted to do. In the early 90s, he started making some little taste about the skin fermentation, skin fermented wines. Of course, always during the harvesting, which is the most chaotic period in every winery, every year. And until 96. In 96 we had two incredible hailstorms, and they destroyed the 95% of world production. With the 5% we have been able to harvest, my father made the definitive taste about the Ribolla fermentation. So there was Ribolla fermented on the skins and without skins. On the skins with selected yeast, and again on the skins with no added yeast, and the same without skins. So there were 4 Ribollas fermenting at the same time. And when my father in spring 97 tested the Ribolla fermented on the skins with no added yeast, with no temperature control, he finally found the Ribolla grape taste.
So the authentic Ribolla taste.
For him was the real one. And since Ribolla, which was the most difficult grape to work with, reacted so well to the skin fermentation, he believed that every white wine would benefit from this kind of fermentation.
Now you were working with other grapes before that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the 70s, in the 80s, people running the Consorzio Collio believed that the only way for Collio to become famous was to produce international varieties. Some of them grow very well in Friuli, Venezia Giulia, some other are good. What was for us, and this still today it's strange to understand, is why should we only concentrate on international varieties?
Yes,
We have some local varieties, they are amazing. So we were, at the time we were producing Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Grigio, Chardonnay, some Riesling Italico, Welsh Riesling. In the 80s they were produced as single varieties. Since the late 80s, early 90s, we started producing this blend called Bianco Breg, which is the blend of all these varieties. From 2030 we only produce Ribolla. So we took away all the vineyard with vines that were not Ribolla. Some of them will be replanted with Ribolla, some other will just go back to be forest. We believe that we feel very responsible about where we plant the vines. This is for us something very important because they need to feel comfortable in order to be able to produce high quality grapes. Think about this: if you, as a person, if you don't feel well where you live, where you work, you can move. It's not always easy, but you can do this. We decide where to plant vines, and sometimes it's not the best choice for them. Despite this, we pretend them producing high quality grapes. It's not very ethically correct for them.
Well, I mean, common thinking, especially when I was growing up and learning about wine, is that the best wines come from the most stressed vines, no?
This can be a physical stress, but in an environment where plants feel well. Physical stress is when the vintage is too dry or too wet, and but if there are only vines, this is a monoculture. Monoculture is never natural in nature. How can you think about forest? Forests, they have only one kind of trees, are usually the worst one. So what we are trying to do is to introduce other plants in between the rows, in between terraces, not only grass, even other all kind of fruits you can produce in our area, from cherries up to chestnut, going through apples, peaches, apricots. We learned that we had less and less birds, and it was not only a matter of numbers, it was especially less and less different birds. Since the humanity...
with the monoculture of the grapes, yes.
And since we clean so much the environment, birds, they have no more the possibility to build their own nest. And of course, if they don't have nest, they don't have babies. So we introduced artificial nest. We studied the birds they used to live in our area. So we introduced artificial birds in order to make them...
Artificial birds?
No, sorry.
Okay, I've never heard of this before. I was quite surprised by that.
I don't know.
I was nodding and agreeing with you, and then I was like, oh
no. It's artificial nest, sorry.
So they would have a place to nest?
Yes.
Right.
And with the artificial nest, more and more birds are coming back. Often producers are scared about birds because they say they eat grapes. It's not exactly true, because birds, they usually eat grapes when they are thirsty, not because they are hungry.
Oh, really? Okay.
And once you know this, you can help them to have water enough. So we introduce artificial ponds in our vineyard. It's not to irrigate the grapes, the vines.
But just to give a place for the birds to...
And water is the origin of every kind of life. So we have mosquitoes, we have flies, birds, they go there to have a bath, to drink. We have frogs, we have water snakes, other animals can drink there. It's just to reduce the impact of the monoculture. And this is what we believe is important to do. We will not be rich with one more bottle of wine, but the good environment is something which is making us living better.